ends.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Where are we going?
Minions have spawned.
me. Let's find some friends. Where are we going? Let's find some
has been slain.
Okay. Come back.
An enemy has been slain.
Come play with me. Let's find some friends.
An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
Come
An
play with
enemy
me.
has been slain. Enemy. Enemy dominated.
we going? Come play with me.
Legendary.
Where are we going?
An enemy has been slain.
Come play with me.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Come play with me. Let's find some friends. Some friends.
An enemy has been slain.
Come play with me. Let's find some friends.
An enemy has been slain. slain. An enemy has been slain.
Come play with me.
Rampage.
Come play with me. Let's find some friends.
has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Come play with me.
making most of Lemon Dogs, which allowed SKT free reign onto 0-0. You can see the Swain pick coming in a bit with Nuke Duck, how well he was able to stick in that fight as Swain and how difficult it was for SKT to focus them down. But because SKT got the jump on them, because SKT had the gold lead, it just wasn't a fair fight.
And the mobility that SK have, of course, is the fact that 4 of them could get across that wall. No problem there. You saw Mandu finally join in the fight because he was the only one that had to walk the whole way around the map.
Poor guy.
Poor guy indeed. Yeah. So Lemon Dogs have regrouped. They are 5 members in that mid lane. They're actually clearing out the Baron wards that SKT did put down there. They're grouping up. They may try and clear this one out.
They need to. I mean, they lost that last fight because they got initiated on unexpectedly, but there's no way they can get an expected initiation unless Lemon Dogs puts their back to the Baron pit and dares SKT to just come at them. The gold lead is probably too large at this point for them to even do this successfully, and they're backing away.
They're backing away because SKT were just saying, fine, we can keep that mission, keep that pushing down that mid lane. And we do see Mandu working his way back in there to put all of those ward coverage that Lemon Dogs have put in there to clear it back out. The dance of wards continues as the game progresses in towards the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, so let's look now. Faker finished his Rabadon's death cap 28 minutes in. He has a measly 525 ability power right now. He's going to eat anyone he wants next as far as Ahri goes. Deathfire Grasp to that full Ahri combo, Spirit rushing in right after the DFG flies to get the full burst down. Nuke Duck Swain pick hasn't necessarily panned out because, not because it's not a good thing in teamfights, but mainly because his lane presence was too low and it allowed Bengi and Faker to just take control of his territory and slowly SKT just kind of starve Lemon Dogs out here.
And the difference is you can see Piglet not too worried about defense, going for that last Whisper next after the Phantom Dance has already been completed, while Tabs, he had to get that Spectral Cowl in there because he's so worried about how much Faker's been putting out. Bengi checking with that kick there, moves across, puts himself the pink ward down, and continues that wall clearance, taking away every little bit of vision that Lemon Dogs have just gained in that Baron pit.
And it's pink wards on top of pink wards on top of pink wards. Faker, even though he does buy pink wards, is full on items now for the most part, so he's not buying as many. It's all on Bengi and Pumandu to get that ward control, plus the Oracles. Lemon Dogs, the same thing could happen again to them right here. They should just go before they get initiated on.
Ooh, the hook on Bengi, but look at this. SKT didn't quite jump for this one around. They could well have gone on towards Mithy, like you said. They were all set up, ready and waiting to go. This time Nuke Duck is down the bottom in the mid lane alongside Impact. There's a lot of wards in that push right now.
And it's patience by SKT. They know they have this play that works. Since Lemon Dogs has seen it work multiple times, they're like, all right, we're going to think about going for the Baron. They can tank it with Spiderlings and plants, not get too low themselves, and Lemon Dogs has to pull the trigger to go in, but the vision has been denied.
They've got to go in.
Do that.
It's down to 2,000 hit points, but look at Dexter just getting melted. That is it. Jungler out. No steals coming here. SKT going to turn this one around. Tabs is going to be the focus target for good unstoppable force on towards Bengi. Mandu getting taken down, but Nuke Duck just gets melted out there. Tabs puts some good damage down, but Faker gets himself the double. Zoro Zero, he gets caught out. He goes down, and that's going to be Tabs caught out. He just gets melted and destroyed. The moment someone gets focus targeted, their hit points are gone. And that is the ace for SK Telecom T1.
So much damage comes out, so organized by SKT. Look at Dexter. He is gone. That was Faker. It just kills him immediately. And then Lemon Dogs is like, I guess we have to fight a 4v5 because they're already partway committed. Zoro Zero landed an amazing ultimate. Nuke Duck was in good position. But as soon as Nuke Duck went in to try to tank, everyone focused at once. They did not allow Swain's healing to take into effect, and then they land their skill shots, they flash in, they finish off Lemon Dogs. Great ace, and they get the inhibitor as well.
Inhibitor goes down. Lemon Dogs up against it now. 15-9 and a 12,000 gold lead up against a Baroned up SK T1. So, all the power is with the Koreans right now. The European team, the number 2 seed coming into this one up against the number 3 seed, but we all know SK Telecom. They are the current summer champions, and they are very strong. Would you believe it? Lemon Dogs are thinking of fighting for this one.
They need to find out a lot more things to do right now, because they're things went from bad to worse to out of control for Lemon Dogs in the past 10 minutes, or even ever since they started the game so well. They got the first blood, and SKT just kind of took it slow, respected Lemon Dogs' playmaking ability, and then just turned it on, it seemed like. They flipped a switch and just played their game. Bengi got enough counter jungling down. Bengi got enough wards inside Lemon Dog's jungle, and the clock just kind of turned there. So now we're at a point where Faker gets to kill whoever he wants. But after that, Piglet is still a huge threat. He's got all the move speed, nearing a full item build. Even the Furor boots, because Vayne is so reliant on move speed, it's too much for Lemon Dogs to deal with right now, knowing that they have to go all in with Zoro and Dexter Malphite Vi together, knowing that Tabs is front-loaded with damage and has built that defensive item in the Banshee's Veil. There's not enough power coming from Lemon Dogs to fight back against SKT.
Just can't burst anyone down, and as you said, Faker can effectively kill who he wants now. We saw Dexter, the second most tankiest member of the team, just dropping without even being able to react out of that charm. Lemon Dogs do defend out this bottom inner turret. Whether they're going to be able to hold on is another matter. Faker wasn't with them, but he is coming around the side right now. Puts down the pink ward, but Mandu up the side there. We could see Faker coming around the backside of Lemon Dogs. Mandu getting ready and waiting, could throw that Stranglethorns in the backside of them. Lemon Dogs realizing the dangerous situation they're in. He's going to go for it. The Mythic just about gets melted by Faker. Finally, just sidestep the last hit.
Oh god, this is dangerous right now for Lemon Dogs. Even without the Faker ultimate impact if they land a stun. But it's actually Lemon Dogs who goes in.
Zoro decides to go aggressive, assault battering on towards Piglet, but they've just got no follow-up. There's no damage coming out from Lemon Dogs, and I can see SKT1 just turning around. Faker picks up one, picks up two, comes on through. Impact locks in towards it. Tabs trying to do a valiant effort, but he gets caught with the grasping roots. Piglet rolls on through. Mithy gets dropped. He's going to get taken down. Impact will get on towards him. Mandu follows on through. Bengi locks in there. That's going to be Nuke Dog. He got Impact down, but Mithy's the only man standing, and it was a triple kill for Faker.
And the fight just kept going, and it was gone. Now SKT have the minions in the mid lane, getting the Nexus turrets down. This looks like a 35-minute win.
That to me seemed like a bit of a crazy initiate. I think in that they realized that the goose was cooked, the game was over, and SK Telecom T1 will be taking their first game against the Lemon Dogs in this group stage.
He got him.
Faker got him, but he goes down to the tower as well. Didn't even get caught out. Just pads out those stats there. Feeling happy with that one. Job done for the man in the middle.
It's all about the kills right there. 6-1 and 6 for Piglet as well. We can't take away from the rest of SK Telecom. But after a rough start against Lemon Dogs, they just turned it on. 60,000 gold by the end of that game. 16,000 advantage over Lemon Dogs. And the Swain pick was a gambit. That gambit didn't work.
That gamble was attempted to work. And you know, it started out so well for the Lemon Dogs, and we talked about the confidence of traveling abroad early on. SKT1 must be on top of the world now, because frankly they were under pressure at the start. That very early play on the red buff, you gotta remember, there's first blood and the second kill as well for Dexter in that top lane seemed to work well. They started to build up a great advantage over SKT1, but the fact that they've now turned that one around and in such great style just will boost their confidence. They'll be thinking, that's it, we're on top of the world now. In
big games, SK Telecom is notoriously slow starters. They're best of 5 against MVP Ozone. They lost their first game, won the next 3. The finals of the summer season, they lost the first 2, won the next 3. In the regional finals, they lost the first one, won the next 3, right? They didn't lose their first game this time. What happens now?
What happens now, everybody else in the world is watching. That is the what happens now, of course. OMG and TSM, they're going to be playing next. They're going to be in...
We just work really well together when the time comes and we need to focus. We do. Definitely, if a team, North American team does well, it'll send a message that we're not all useless.
Are about finding their targets and going on them. So I wonder actually if TSM's going to practice any kind of somewhat weird strategy, because TSM usually likes to play their controlled style and kind of initiate fights when they want. They're not the best at letting teams come to them. OMG's going to come to them if they're ready for it.
Well, picks and bans are underway, ladies and gentlemen. And that first ban, thank you very much, is Yorick.
Haha. Well, even though I personally don't think the jungle Yorick is that threatening, it throws them off their game. Because it's something that OMG would want to do. It's something that has been scouted by TSM, and it's gone.
It seems that the odd one is being kept awake. Maybe not the usual gamer hours that he's used to, but the bans are coming through. There is the Zed, a bit of a respect ban being taken away from Reginald after game 1.
And I wonder if Corki's going to get through here. TSM has definitely considered first picking Corki if it comes through. OMG obviously saw that first game, but they're banning out the other threats on TSM right now. Top champion from Reginald, Zed, gone. Top champion from Dyrus, Shan, the double ninja's gone. And Corki's available.
Well, Orianna also taken away from Cool and Renekton. You talked about this earlier on when we saw MBS picking it. These are the teams that have been using Renekton in that top lane quite prolifically. Thresh being taken away, Corki is available for first pick for TSM.
And the Renekton was a pick or ban in almost all of the Chinese final games.
Well, there is Sona, the first pick. That's what they've gone with. That's what Xpecial wanted. No fiddlesticks this time around, and it seems that they may have done their research because Caitlyn and Ari have been locked in for OMG.
Especially with the Zed ban here and Reginald's poor performance on Fizz at the regionals, having Ari available and then first picking Sona instead, this could be a big Pomelo thing. There's not that much scouting on him because Koma played Sona for most of, or almost all of OMG's games at the finals, and now he's coming in with a different support. It's something that we don't know too much about. Big Pomelo was the support for OMG for most of the season. He actually used to be the team's jungler at a time and then moved to support. But TSM in the past has put so much priority on that first pick Sona. It's not that surprising, but they did give up a lot.
Well, it's definitely put decisions on them. The fact that TSM have completely slowed down their picks and bans. Looks like Corki will be selected here. We're seeing him hovered over right now, but it definitely seems to have caught them out, and you can see they're discussing exactly what they're going to go with. Yeah. It seems that it will be Elise.
TSM, they're doing their TSM thing right now. Elise is Odd One's #1 on his tier list of junglers. Vi is probably #2. Corki's #1 for Wild Turtle. They're just picking those things into whatever OMG wants.
Wow, okay, it's a champion we've seen a lot of in European LCS. It is Aatrox getting locked in there alongside Zyra with Caitlyn.
Jungle Aatrox, lots of fights very early on in the game are to be expected. It could be a top lane, but the majority of Aatrox we've seen in China has been from the jungle.
We'll see how that works out. So, Team Solo Mid, what are they going to do? What is Reginald going to go with? Is that going to be Dyrus rumbling along the top? That's the question.
Well, the Shen is gone. Rumble has had a lot of success early. The only thing they have to do with this, though, is if Dyrus picks Rumble, it means Reggie has to pick something that has a fair bit of control for the team. Otherwise, there'll be nothing to keep them in the equalizer outside of a random cocoon or a crescendo that lands in. We've seen TSM run comps like this before, but it's a little shaky for them. I really want to see what Xpecial picks for Reggie. Yep. It's on now.
There is the Fizz. You told it out. You said it didn't exactly perform to the best at PAX.
No. That was 2 weeks ago, though. And they've had a lot of practice. They picked up Vi. Wild Turtle picked up a Corki again. You're skeptical. I can see it in your face. I'm not saying he's going to do well. I'm saying it's been a while.
I have faith in Reggie. I have faith in Reggie. Don't worry. We'll see how it works out. But Kennen seemingly going to be the top pick for OMG. We'll see how that works out. It's going to be going selecting that one.
Still haven't locked it in, though. It would make sense in the context of this composition to really just lock down TSM since OMG really wants to go for a lot of fights. But we got to remember, you know, he did play a lot of that top lane, Mundo. He likes those unconventional picks in the top lane, and Kennen is surprisingly conventional, even though it fits with OMG's team fight dive play style.
Yeah, it would fit with this comp with Aatrox going in there, popping the Stranglethorns, jumping on top of them with that slicing Maelstrom. We'll see whether it is going to get locked in. Just a second to change it, so it seems that it will be selected. OMG is just simply using the time to sort out their runes and masteries. So, team comp setup, chat. What are we seeing overly?
All right, so we see OMG gets to do their thing. They get to dive in and go. Aatrox, Ari, Kennen, going to be dive galore for OMG and attempting to win the lanes. TSM needs Reginald to perform on Fizz. If he gets back in this game, OMG is going to roll over them. He's not going to have time to turn into the hyper carry Fizz that a lot of teams like to go for. He can't lose lane, basically. But as we saw in the first game, Corki for Wild Turtle. We didn't think he'd get it again. He got it again. He was a monster in that game against Gaming Gear EU, and I think we have to look for Wild Turtle to excel, and we have to wait for Dyrus on Rumble to wait for OMG to dive in and then use the equalizer. That's TSM's goal here in this game.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of the World Championships in Group A about to get underway. Team Solo Mid, they're 1-0 up already. they're going to be facing off against OMG, their first game of the championships. We've already seen SKT-T1 picking up a win as well. So while the game loads up, let's check out what you guys at home, who they think is going to win. According to LollySports.com, 59% of you think that TSM will be taking their second game here at Worlds.
Yes, and all the analysts chose OMG. A couple of them were saying, yeah, TSM's got a decent chance, but none of them pulled the trigger for some reason. A lot of the fans have the 59% fan vote as well. We know China is not necessarily that well known to a lot of our English viewers here because, you know, let's be honest, it's a very isolated scene right there. Hopefully TSM knows what's up against them. They're going to be diving, they're going to be fighting fast. And honestly, like, I think this is a very close matchup as well.
Well, we know that TSM have done the research because Dyrus said they've got sheets.
They had the sheets.
They have sheets.
All you need is sheets.
Sheets and everything. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the teams are ready. The Rift is loaded. And we are about to get underway for Game 3 of the World Championships here live in Los Angeles. TSM, they're going to be the blue team on your screen. And red team will be OMG coming out of China as the number 2 seed. So both number 2 seeds facing off against each other. Of course, TSM being the number 2 seed for North America. Summoner's Rift is loaded, Jat. And we've seen some interesting T-level ones. We saw Lemon Dogs go in heavy, get the ward down.
And Chinese teams specifically fight a lot at level 1. They have no fear about where they go. Reginald is playing with fire right now.
I'm not sure whether he realizes. He sees that San is there, but doesn't realize that Aatrox was so close by on Lovelin.
Wild Turtles played a lot of Corki.
Wild Turtles played a lot of Corki. He's up against Cool in that mid lane at the moment, but that's not going to be where they're going because look at OMG going in.
Well, they went into the bush.
Yep.
There was no one there.
No one there.
They're going for an aggressive invade, though, and Reginald has ran away from that one. If anything, I feel like we're going to see a buff trade like we usually see here at the red buffs.
Yep, you can see TSM getting ready and waiting for it. We did see Lemon Dogs quickly backing off and going straight back towards that red buff. They are going to pass on towards that ward. They've already pinged it and said something's here.
Yep.
So either going to be a ward or a person. We're going to walk face first into them, which we've seen many times from Dyrus. But as it stands, TSM are going to walk themselves straight around there. Ward placements go out, and it will be a standard red buff trade. So,
yep.
Overall, team comps. We've seen so much of this team from TSM. The Rumble works very well in the past, the Fizz not so much.
And I want to see how much that first pick Sona plays into this game. Reginald's an amazing Ahri. He was undefeated on in the LCS, and they had the chance to pick it first. It would have just meant that they give Sona back to OMG. Maybe it's because X-Specialist played so much Sona and Thresh, he didn't have any trust in his third-tier support, which would have been Lulu. But they gave up so much for that. Cool versus Reginald is TSM's choice for X-Special's pick. Let's hope it works out for them, because normally TSM is all about Reginald, and they need to make sure he's comfortable. He says he's comfortable on Fizz.
Well, Dyrus is going to be in that 2v1, or is it going to be a 3v1? Because Lovelace is the way OMG plays.
Dyrus has the Doran shield, so he is a little bit more resilient to these turret dives. But that's a huge wave. Dyrus is level 1, and he has no help.
He's got no help at all. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to get the Ignite down. Just managed to flash out of the slam from Lovelin. Gets a good catch on Big Pomelo. He's going to go down to the Ignite, but First Blood will go down. Lovelin's passive gets popped. Really well played by OMG.
And honestly, Dyrus played that as well as he could have, assuming he gets caught under the turret by 3 people. Looking at TSM, they're like, let's do the same thing, guys. Going's not there. OMG excels at the 3v1 turret dive game, and that's what they've been playing there. They get a kill for nothing because Going just decided not to be there.
Instead, TSM choose to try and stack. Remember, those towers are much stronger right now. So
works out for them, because normally TSM is all about Reginald, and they need...
Welcome aboard, Captain.